What's going on, everyone? This is the Deep Rooted Podcast created by Midnight Entertainment, executive produced by Hustle Vision Entertainment. This is your host, Anubis MN, with my lovely panel of fellow hosts, Lady Shay, YC, and Rob. Everybody, go ahead and say what's up to the people.
Yo,
Going
yo,
on,
what's
y'all?
going on?
Going on, world? How y'all feeling?
So, today we want to do the topic of gun violence, especially when it comes to our community. Rob, this is a topic that was very dear to you. You can go ahead and spear.
I appreciate it. Peace and blessings to everybody. I wanted to, instead of just going in and talking about it, I wanted to, if you guys could help me out. I'm posing this question because it's hard to move forward and even have the discussion if we're not ready to be honest with ourselves about what are the causes of the violence that our youth is displaying. And are these youth being guided? Is the ball being dropped on them? How can we move forward? Because it was a blessing. I had a guy reach out to me. He's actually the head coach at my former high school. His name's John Brown, George Washington Carver High School of Engineering and Science. He um, was the successor to Coach um, Charlie Brown. He's a championship winning coach, Coach Lynn Greer, who went to Temple. um, John Cox, Kobe Bryant's cousin. I mean, just countless numbers of players that went D1 and just a legendary coach. And Mr. John Brown is his successor. And Mr. John Brown shares the same concerns that I do. And he's wondering what can we do? I'm not sure if you guys have heard of this guy. There's another guy. I'm not sure of his name, and I'm sorry. But I'm trying to connect with him as well. He's an older guy. I don't know if you've heard his story in the newspaper or in the media. He starved himself, I believe. Um, I'm not sure if it was for 26 days straight, but he starved himself because, he wants to try to get some attention to bring some accountability to the mayor or city officials who can um, make their voices and stand up for this, because again, it's been deemed a public emergency by numerous people. A friend of mine was just gunned down last night. George, um, went to elementary school with him. He's all over. A couple people that I spoke to, they said they saw it on their social media. Um, so he was well loved and respected. And I'm just tired. I'll get tired and tired of more each day, and we need to start having these conversations and try to start coming together and putting together some letters and petitions. And that's what I'm working on with Mr. John Brown. Um, he coaches youth. Um, we need to reach them by some way. Maybe it'd be all types of ways. We need to reach these children. We need to reach the children's parents. They need some resources. They need some help. They need some assistance. I think it does take a village to raise a child. So help me out, you guys. Expound on it. Um, let's try to start talking about some type of solutions, possible roots of why this is happening. And it gets more and more real for me every time I wake up. That's what I want to. I wake up to that. My other friend from elementary is posting, "Rest in peace, George." I just was with George in the summertime. I invited him to a block party on my grandma's block. We laughed, we shared food and drink, and said that we need to stay connected and stay in touch. And I'm just sad to have this keep going on. And I want to help. I want to do something. The younger guys are coming up, and they don't have no guidance. They don't have nobody that cares. And I feel like they just out here just trying to find their own way, and it's not the right way. What's going on, evidently. So, thank you for y'all letting me expound on this. And this clear, I would love to talk about all different topics. So please don't let us, if at all possible, not spearhead with this whole um, episode. But that's just how I wanted to open it up, with a heavy heart and say, please, reach out to these young people in your community, snatch them up, talk to them, walk with them, ask them what's on their mind, what's their barriers, what do they want out of life. You know, they don't even know that there's more to life. So that's why, you know, with my nonprofit, More Life, we're going to spearhead that message that there's more to life than what we're doing out here, and there's more life to be lived. These people are dying too young. George was about 37 my age, so he had a lot more life to live, and he was his mother's only son as well, and I'm my mother's only son. So
We're
thank you
sorry
for
for
letting me
that.
share.
We're sorry for the loss for the family and everything. And I think that's a great way to tackle it. Also, one of the solutions that we can start helping tackle gun violence is talking to these young guys because, if anyone want to expound on what the reasons for it is, you have one growing up in an area of poverty where it's hard for your family to even get money. It's hard for your mom to get money. It's hard for you to, get out here and get a job and make money. So one thing that people do is they resort to robbing each other. They resort to going out doing licks because, they got to feed their family. They got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when it comes to like, it's a lot of it has a lot to do with like, the gang life and everything, the pressure of it. Um, I would say music does play a part, and it also there's many factors of it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been very critical in Philly. I seen a little post from the Inquirer that says it's Philly's violent year, and this is back in 2020. It says nearly 500 people were killed and more than 2,200 shot. And that's just with last year from January. This was updated on January 4th, 2021. So we had a lot more since then in just this month and a half because, like, every day you can hear that going on. Guns going off and stuff, and if somebody's in the news, somebody's. I had one of my brothers ended up losing a friend due to that also, and it's something that there's no winning sides to that. Simply because one, you're taking somebody else's life and you're ending your own life also.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no winning side when it comes to gun violence in our community. Lady Shay, well, I see y'all want to say anything?
Yeah, I speak on it. Yeah, gun violence, like that shit's never been cool. Like just taking another person's life is just like for some reason is what's the word I'm looking for? It's put as such a high, I guess it's just rewarded in the hood, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Like it's kept at such a high regard, like taking another person's life, like they act like motherfuckers is putting statues up for you for that. Like, and I for the most part I blame just the lack of leadership, like whether it be like in the household or just like having positive role models to look up to, like growing up. Like I just know for a fact, like I didn't really have nobody to look up to. If it wasn't like a professional like athlete, it was the dope pusher that was driving the Lexus. You know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
making money. Like, and that's what most youth looking at now. Like, if it ain't the LeBron James, it's the freaking the Lil Waynes, the little babies. They looking at them dudes, and then like if they looking at them, they also try to emulate their music. Like they not listening to their dads because either their dad's not around or you know
Mm-hmm.
the gun violence. Like I lost my boyfriend years ago, like on Christmas Day, like shot 11 times on Christmas Day going to see his daughter. Like, so
wow.
I already know how that gets. So
Condolences.
thank you. But
All right.
it, it was just we gotta. It's just it's a different message we gotta give to them. Like and I know it's just hard to like, because it's just a disconnect. For some reason, it's a crazy disconnect between.
Yeah, that's heavy that you say that.
It's a crazy disconnect from like our generation and the generation under us. Like a ridiculous like disconnect. Like somewhere, understand why it's that bad, because like it's not. It's like there may be a little disconnect between like my generation above me, but it's not as bad as like us and the people under us. Like,
So, what do you believe would be
I
a good solution to to begin to tackle that?
the solutions, man, just more things in the communities to just like build camaraderie and just more social stuff. I feel like the pandemic kind of like screwed over the summertime and all that stuff. But just like for the future going on, like there definitely should be more stuff for the youth and the older generations to connect, whether it be like basketball tournaments, or just something like just
So,
something.
having community events.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because there's
Okay.
definitely thereof, especially like from when I was growing up to now. Like it's almost nothing for them to do but shoot.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Lady Shay.
Yeah, you guys had like a lot of really great points. I mean, I think whenever there's an issue, I think the first thing that we have to do is acknowledge that there's an issue. I think in the Black community, like you gentlemen were mentioning, a lot of people think that this is okay, shooting somebody because they stepped on your sneakers or because they looked at your girl or, whatever, took your parking spot in a at the store or something, that warrants me to pull my gun out and take your life. We don't have a high regard for life. And that's a major issue. So, it starts at home, it starts in our communities. We have to admit that there's first an issue. It's tough because there are so many factors as to why this is going on. There isn't just one reason and we can just focus on that one reason to resolve it. It's so many different things. So it's like, where do we even start? I think it starts at home. I think it starts with, parents and everything, and the children as well. After school programs like you mentioned, mentorship programs. As a gentleman that I follow on Instagram, I have to get his name, I hate that I can't remember it at this moment, but he kind of like dedicates his whole life to younger Black men, and he kind of enlists older Black men to help mentor these young Black men here in Philly. And it's something that they do like on a weekly or monthly basis, where they're kind of gathering them, and are pairing them with older gentlemen to help them, guide them, and kind of give them some sort of leadership. And I think we need more of that. And it's tough because in our neighborhoods and our communities, especially like you mentioned, poverty ridden communities, we don't have a lot of resources. So like you mentioned, we're bored, we don't have anything else to do. So do? We turn to the streets. We see what's going on in the streets. The streets seem fun. It's exciting, and then next thing you know, you're just in too deep, and that's just your life. It's just a cycle. So we have to break those curses. We have to break those generational curses, and you know, again, it kind of starts with parenting. It's a lot. So I wouldn't even really know where to start. But again, I believe it starts at home. It starts with us. It starts with us as individuals. We have to be the ones to show people. We have to, what's the word I'm looking for? We
Lead
have to
by
set the
example.
example. Exactly. Thank you.
Mhm.
We have to be the example, and we have to show, the younger generation, because a lot of people don't realize our time is here. We're living now, but the kids are the future. So, we want to see some sort of change from what we're living. We have to get to the minds of the kids now while they're young, because they're impressionable now. So it's easier to, take a hold of their minds and influence them. So we have to make sure that, if their minds are being taken over, let it be with positivity, let it be, constructive, let it be progressive, let it be, to help grow themselves, and, also kind of set those lights in other people growing up. It starts with us.
I agree. I
In
agree.
short, there's so much
Um,
I can say.
yeah, it that's very true, and I like the points that you made. I like the points that each and every one of you have made. Um, a lot of it is also due with how street life is promoted, how it's projected. It seems to be something that is flashy. It seems to be something that is sought after. Hell, even like, the suburban kids, they want to try to have that image of being street, and they don't even really know where, we come from with that. A lot of it is struggle. A lot of it is, trying to feed your family, and though you want to get out here and make as much as you can and have nice cars and stuff and live in a nice place, like where we are when it comes, especially when it comes to how the hood was created and the redlining that goes on with it and stuff, is what helped create that mentality of the street life. Like it's a cutthroat world, and as they say, yo, the streets don't love you. The streets don't love you. Like, yeah, like, you can go out here, hustle to the point where you owning stuff, but at the same time, the same streets that feed you can take you away. Um, I think when it comes to it, we also have to speak about the mental illnesses that goes along with it also, because that plays a big part also, as well as how the school to prison industrial complex is, where they're not really giving us the keys to succeed here. They're just teaching us to be subservient. They're teaching us to be employees. They're not teaching us to how to get out here and find where the money is or where success is, where we're in a trap. So a lot of people, they spiral out of control, especially if they don't really have support from the family, like because at home your parent is trying to do whatever they can to feed you, and they're really not in your life due to that. Um, One thing that I believe that we should push for is one, more money into schooling, because as you all know, Philadelphia is one of the places where they took money out of the schooling system. Or I remember before, it was maybe what, 4 years ago, where they said that they didn't have any money to put into our public schools, but had $2 million to welcome the Pope here, to shut down areas for the Pope, but don't have any money to put into our schools.
Mm.
I think we spoke about it before on an episode that we need to start being involved in more of the city council, not city council, the town hall meetings, because a lot goes on there that we're unaware of that affects our community, and we can actually input a lot to have things done in our community to fix it up, especially when it comes to after school programs, community centers. All those have been being shut down because one, the state has been taking money from our communities and putting it into other communities. If you look at how the colleges are, Drexel and Temple, they're actually buying up areas of the community and pushing our people out and building that up for whatever they're for. So we gotta work as hard as we can as a people. We need to like sit down and come up with a plan, come up with an initiative, and begin presenting it to all the people that are in our communities and to these town hall meetings, so we can push for more to happen in our community.
No, it's the police. Go ahead and put some clothes on.
Hold on.
That was a really good topic, bro. That was a real good topic. So for our next one, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we're going to speak on parenting and how do you raise your children and speak to your children about the things that are going on. So everybody, listeners, viewers, give us a like, give us a follow, subscribe. Thank you for listening to the Deep Rooted Podcast, created by Midnight Entertainment, executive produced by Hustle Vision Network. Taking a break. Right back with you. What's going on? This is the second part of the Deep Rooted podcast. We got our other host, Ish Capiche, back in the
Hello,
building.
everyone.
So just to rehash on what we went over on the first segment, we spoke on gun violence, and we had a little excerpt from the Inquirer speaking on the violence from last year. And this was updated January 1st of 2021 this year. So it says Philly's violent year, nearly 500 people were killed and more than 2,200 shot in 2020. And of course, just in the month and a half, there has been a lot more. But we also went over ways of how we can come up with solutions for it. And a few of them are one, giving the parents the resources to help nurture and raise their kids and pull them away from this type of lifestyle. Two, trying to push for more money into the community centers and after school programs to help children out, especially to give the children the resources that they need to survive, as well as checking out like the town hall meetings and making your voice known and making a statement, because a lot that goes on at the town hall meetings is stuff that pertains to our community. It's not just like redlining and stuff like that. It's more of laws that they're pushing that will potentially affect our community. um, so that's just, a little of what we went over, a rehash of what we went over. If you want to speak on it real quick, Ish Kapish.
Oh, me.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a-
Well, I do believe that especially when you said you need to get active with your community and go to the town hall meetings, because it a lot of the rules and like different laws that they implement into our communities, they're actually made at these meetings. And I know a lot of people do have a lot of discrepancies or opinions about different things that can be done differently in our communities, especially as far as education wise, and especially making sure that our youth are safe and growing up with the best opportunities. It starts with your community. So if you don't make yourself active in the community, of course, it's just going to go however whoever is going there, plans it out.
Okay, so when it back to the parenting part, we also, during our break, we spoke of ways that can help parents, or that can how you can successfully uh, nurture and guide your children away from gun violence. Um, which one is, just pushing for what they're interested in. If they're into art, if they're into sports, um, hell, if it's gaming, support your children on it, push towards it. It helps them get away from this life. Not so much as putting the title of man of the house on them, because that's where a lot of the pressure comes from, is when you're, like, let's say your father isn't there, or your father leaves. You have that pressure of becoming a man of the house, wanting to support your mom, wanting to support your siblings, and that actually drives people to the streets. It drives them to go out and try to like make something
Right.
themselves, whether it's robbing somebody, hitting the lick, whatever. Um, we have to be more nurturing of our children, supporting what they want to do, and not like, we're the parents. It's our job to take care of them, but we have to be there for them also, and we have to find a way. Which is why one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to most likely we'll have the executive producer at the end of it attach different resources for parents, and we'll promote that, get people the help that they need in raising their children. But what are some other ways that you guys believe, starting from a young age, let's say when they're most impressionable, how you can guide them to success?
Well, I believe one of the things that we would definitely have to make sure that we're doing, especially with children at a young age, is, get them acclimated with reading. And, even though it would be ideal to say, make sure that they have hard copies, because that's important as well. Even if you were to like get them books on a Kindle or something, just make sure that they're getting acclimated with reading and also enlightening themselves. Because one of the things that we grew up looking solely into the school system for most of our education. So, you know, and I'm not ashamed to say it, because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person that experienced this. But I found out a lot of the information that I know now. I learned it after high school, especially stuff like
Right,
stocks and
right.
you know actual Black history. Black people inventing and white people just taking the patent so that they own the idea. I just want to make sure that my child knows more than what they teach you on the surface, because it's a lot more.
Agreed.
Agreed, agreed. Let's see. YC.
Oh, you put me on the spot. All right. Let me see. Something that parents could do. I think, yeah, one thing that parents can definitely do, like with their kids at a young age, instilling instilling the concepts, like instilling values, like discipline, honor. Well, it was just on the tip of my tongue.
Respect as well too.
Yes, respect, but
Mhm.
that comes with discipline. But
Hmm.
what was it? Dang, I forgot the word. But yeah, just instilling just like core values in our children when they're young, and like when you said like they're at their most impressionable, especially like commitment, like committing to things, like not just like putting your all into things, not just like giving up when it gets too hard, or like, because like you see that in a lot of people now, like people are just like used to quitting because like they get so wrapped up around like, oh, I can just go and do this, or I can just go and do this. Like that's cool when you're younger, but like once you get older, like you're not gonna have the time to do those things. And like
Exactly.
those are like certain things like you have to, because like when it comes to it, they don't in the world. Like, yeah, they have more idle time when they're younger, and like that's what you need to like. That's when you need to instill like the things, like say if they really want to do the things that they want to do when they grow up, say like be doctors, or you know what I mean, football players or stuff. Like you gotta instill just that drive into your children when they're young, so they don't give up on themselves. You know.
Thank
That's
you,
a really
brother.
good
Thank
point.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good right there.
Lady Shay.
Yes. So I think something to instill in them when they're young is the importance of being a leader and just leadership. That's one thing that I can say about myself growing up. I was a leader. I did my own thing. I didn't care what anybody else was doing. I don't care if it was exciting or everybody else is doing it. If I didn't feel like doing it, or if I didn't feel like something was right, I would not do it. I don't really know if that was something that was instilled in me or not, but I just think that that's a good quality to have and to instill into your child, to not be so caught up in peer pressure. Make your own decisions, think with your own mind and things like that. I think that could help with a lot of the young kids following trends and just hopping on bandwagons and things like that. So definitely leadership, I would say, having that quality is very important that young.
Yes, that's very important, because I believe that the company you keep also like has a hand in your success.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, most of the time, they say birds of the same feather flock together. I do believe that to a certain extent, but I've hung
Yeah,
out with some characters. But it's never necessarily like influenced me. I still always did what I wanted to do. It didn't matter what they thought. You know what I
right.
mean? So But
But
yeah,
that's
it's
because
definitely
of
important.
your
More people
character.
are more impressionable.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's because of your character and who you are. But
Yeah,
you know, that's
most
one of the
people.
reasons why I definitely agree with
Yeah.
you. It's important to teach the children that as well, so that they can understand exactly what you said.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, my brother, like growing up, like my oldest brother, he always told me like, you are the company you keep. So say if you hanging around a bunch of broke dudes that ain't doing nothing but getting into trouble and stuff, you ain't gonna do nothing but do the same thing because you with them. If you with a bunch of, like-minded, intelligent people trying to better themselves and trying to better the community, that like you're going trying to do that, you're going to be trying to emulate those people that you're around. And like as
Like they say, you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around.
Yeah. So like even going back to like the youth, like that's who they hanging around. They're hanging around a bunch of dudes that, want to smoke Zaza, drink the lean and all that goofy stuff, and catch the bodies and all that crazy stuff.
All right, and Rob, you want to give the final piece? Rob, you want to give the final piece?
My apologies, had to shift on my way to make a move. But yes, let me quickly, I know everybody has pressed for time. It starts at home, first and foremost. It takes a village to raise a child. We need to be more involved in our communities, police in our communities. Everybody watch the Black Panther. What's it called? Judas. Isn't it Judas? And the Messiah. Judas and the Messiah. Yeah. So here we are. We have. Oh, microphone.
His showing that
I'm
his
so
network
sorry.
bandwidth is low, so it may cut him out. Yeah.
Am I still?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I apologize. My video's acting crazy. It takes a village to raise a child. Judas and the Black Messiah. We have the Black Panthers. They policed their communities. They told police they couldn't come in there and do anything. They didn't let anybody come in there and just do anything from outside of, the community. Men need to be more vocal, being in their children's lives more. I love what you said about teaching your children at home what they don't or not. They're not going to teach you in school by design. You know what I mean? They're giving that bullshit education when you need to be teaching. We need to be reading. We need to be teaching ourselves more. We need to be more accountable, seeking knowledge. You know what I mean? Trying to better ourselves every day, striving for more. You know what I'm saying? Take a child out, see a child. I don't understand how people can see these children in the community. I know they see these children. I know they see these younger guys, and they need somebody to talk to, even if it's just to talk to or somebody to vent to. Mental health. I'm dealing with a situation where I could have killed somebody today, to be honest. So I had to exhibit patience today. Just now, like, I know that I have more to lose. I have more life. I'm not stooping to nobody's level. You know what I mean? I'm just going to be patient and humble and let God deal with it, because I know myself. I know I'm going to jail. So I'm not even going to get involved. So, we need strong Black men. Hopefully it'll become contagious, like a domino effect. Just watching movies, like it was that movie with Denzel. I forget what it's called, but it's kind of like he's kind of like Joe Clark, and it's kind of like Leaning on Me, but it's Denzel, and he gets his staff to buy into the students, and then next thing you know, he was going around at one point in the movie asking kids to come to the school. They're like, I'm not coming there. But then at the end of the movie, they had reformed the school, and then it was a waiting list to come to the school. So it can work if people want to do the work, if people want to put in the time and the effort it takes to invest in these children.
Have to lead
Just
by
monitor.
example.
What are they watching? What are your kids watching? Do you let them just watch everything? Or do they have a bedtime? Are they rested for school? Like, what are you asking their checking the company that they keep? You are the 5 people that you keep company with. You are 9 times out of 10 you will be influenced by these people. What's your company? What's your circle? What are they doing? Um, what are you trying to build? What do you want out of life? I had to be taken on a trip at 14 to see the world. I went to Italy and Africa. I didn't want to go. My parents made me go because they know I didn't know no better. They know I didn't know the value of that at the time. But now I'm older. I'm glad they made me go.
Right.
Kids don't know what's best for them by that design. So that's why the parents have to be in the house with your movie. Watch something that teaches you about Black History Month. How many people are teaching their kids Black history and where we come from? So we know that we're great and we're kings and we queens. We don't know our value. You know what I mean? So it could be 1,000 more things, but that's all I got for right now. Thank you for letting me share.
Hey, we appreciate it, brother.
And you had a lot of wonderful points too, especially like
yeah,
because you know what, social media, I feel like it's a lot that's going to influence kids too. And
that's a big one.
It's crazy because
that's
I
the devil. I'm sorry.
I see a few posts about like Black History Month and different stuff, but for the most part, is what overshadows that is different challenges and different stuff that's not really going to be beneficial to a child unless they choose to be an influencer, and that's like a whole different world right there. I'm not an influencer, so I can't really speak on it, but I do know that it definitely does start at home. We have to make sure that we're monitoring our kids. What company are you keeping? Are you doing your homework? Are you making sure to read?
That's
are you spending more than 2 hours watching TV every day? Or are you trying to
no balance?
And then also them going like, I feel like another thing, try to get them active because we used to be outside until the street light came on.
Right.
And kick and scream when we were coming inside. Now it's like, they're stuck to these controllers and they're stuck to tablets and they don't really go outside much. So
gotta have that balance. That balance. Lady Shay, what did you want to say?
Activity to do, they don't go outside. Like if they're not doing like a sport or anything like that, they're not gonna go outside.
It's a lot of playgrounds.
Hold on. Lady Shay, what is it you want to say?
I just was going to mention that I think that it's important for the parents to stay more involved in their children's lives. I know like a lot of times the parents are at work, they come home and it's just kind of like the basic, how was your day? How was school? And not really prying into what was going on. What did you learn? Did anything happen? What was the highlight of your day? What was the low point of your day? Really sitting down and having that, cutting out that time to really speak one-on-one with your children and seeing what's going on in their lives. You know what I mean? Being involved with, well, who are your friends? Who are they hanging around? I know I don't have children yet, but when I do, when my children are hanging around other kids, I want to know who they are. Matter of fact, I want to meet your mama. I meet your dad. I want to know what they do. I need to know what's going on. Where you hanging out? You're going over their house. Well, we're going over there together the first time because I need to see what's up. I want to know what's going on. So I think it's just important for parents to just be more involved in that way and stop giving children so much freedom. It depends. Like, because my mom, she didn't give me a whole lot of freedom, but I was also really more mature growing up. I stayed in the house. Yeah, I didn't want to be bothered. I wasn't like in the boys. I played ball. So I guess she didn't really have a reason to worry about me. So I kind of earned that freedom, I'll say. But a lot of times kids are just given freedom to kind of just do what they want. And that's almost like a recipe for a disaster. They're 9 times out of 10 are going to get themselves into something that they shouldn't be into. So I think, it's tough for parents. Parents are working. They got to come home, cook, clean, help you with your homework. So it's I can only imagine what it's like to be a parent, but I think it's just crucial for parents to, do their best to be involved in their children's lives more, having those conversations, seeing what's going on, and just being more involved, like I said.
Right.
All right, we want to
I
thank
definitely agree with you,
everybody
Shane.
because this is like these are very great points. These are very great points, and we're gonna get the information out here for everyone. If you have a family member that needs help or needs the resources, we're going to find a way to give it to them. We're going to research it ourselves, do it at a way where it's like, low cost, if not no cost at all for them. And we're going to get it out there and get it to the community because, like, we need it. We need it. We need to start pushing a different narrative, creating that different narrative, and get back to it taking a village to help raise these kids, especially if there's a member that is struggling and they're doing the best that they can, but they still aren't really in their kid's life. So we need to get back to oneness. That's the biggest thing, oneness, because that's what it being a village to raise these children was. It was us being one with one another. Um, Damn, that was great. That was great. I enjoyed everyone's viewpoints. I enjoyed the points that everyone made. Like, and that it inspires me for the day when I have children to what to look for and what to strive for into raising them.
Mhm.
Damn. So, all right, everybody, this was the Deep Rooted Podcast. We want to thank the viewers for watching. We want to thank our listeners. Always want to thank, my amazing panel of hosts. Um, Follow, like, subscribe. If you have the Anchor app, you can donate. That'll actually help us get more things. So if we want to go and do a scene out Penn's Landing, or if we want to help do a beach trip and take Deep Rooted there and start discussing stuff there,
Right.
that'll help out with that as well as getting other equipment. So this is the Deep Rooted Podcast. Excuse me, Deep Rooted Podcast created by Midnight Entertainment, executive produced by Hustle Vision Entertainment. Peace,
Bye.
love,
Um,
and stay woke.